Assalamu alaikum and peace. Welcome back. This is Bilal Mujahid. Welcome back to Black Muslim in America. Another broadcast, another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share. I just came on here to talk about something real quick. It happened a little while ago, but I still wanted to touch on it. Basically, Ramadan just passed, alhamdulillah. May Allah accept all of our fast, ameen. And it was towards the end of Ramadan, and it was non-Muslims joking on Twitter talking about, only a few more days till y'all back outside. We missed y'all. And it was some Muslims actually saying, we missed y'all too. Looking silly as hell, but that was only one thing. Another thing that happened was there was a TikTok video that was made by these two black non-Muslim dudes. And they were in the video dancing and, jigabooing it up. And the quote said, only a couple more hours till the Muslim women are back outside. And so sincere Muslim brothers have a jealousy and a protectiveness of their Muslim sisters. And so it was a white Muslim brother. He quoted the video and he said, basically that this is disgusting. These kafirs are trying to get at our women. It was something to that effect. So it was some Muslims who understood what he was saying, that these non-Muslims, they're not even allowed to marry our women. A Muslim woman can't marry a non-Muslim male. So they're talking about fornicating with our women. So some Muslims understood this and they agreed with them. But then there were non-Muslim black people who said, see, I told y'all Islam was racist. They calling them kafirs. Because in South Africa and, other parts of Africa, the word kafir is like basically the N-word. Calling somebody a kafir there would be like calling them an N-word. And so they were bringing up that point. But that has nothing to do with Islam. And they were saying basically because he's white and he said the word kafir, he was really just trying to be racist. I don't think that brother was trying to be racist. I think he was showing his ghera, his jealousy over the Muslim women, his protectiveness over the Muslim women. The word kafir is a word in Islam. It means non-Muslim. It means disbeliever. It means someone who covers the truth. Someone who hides the truth. That's what kafir means. It's not meant as a racist term. So there are black people who use the word kafir. There's a surah chapter in the Quran called Surah Kafirun, where it tells the kafirs that we don't worship what you worship and we will never worship that which you worship. So to me, my religion, and to you, your religion. Now, if you're a Muslim person and you're using this word kafir with the intention in your heart to use it as a racial slur towards another person, then yes, you would be wrong for that because you're trying to be slick. But if you're a sincere Muslim person and you're using the word kafir to describe the non-Muslim, the disbeliever, then there's no sin on you for that. And there's no racism in you for saying that. You're not a racist for saying that. And this is what people don't understand. Islam does not teach racism. Islam does not promote racism. There's nowhere in the Quran, there's nowhere in the Sunnah where you can say that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, or Allah in the Quran promotes racism. It doesn't exist. In fact, it's totally against racism. In fact, it's totally against white supremacy. But at the same time, I will say this. The disease, the sickness of white supremacy has infected a lot of Muslims, a lot of them. And many Muslims have gotten down with team white supremacy, especially here in America as well. They think because Islam is a conservative religion that they should be down with the right wing when it comes to politics. These people are ignorant because they don't understand that to say La ilaha illallah, there is no God other than Allah, is the highest form of politics. You don't need to be right wing, left wing. You don't need to be a Republican or a Democrat. You don't need to be none of that. So they're incorrect with that. So they think that since Islam is conservative, then we're going to get down with the right wing, aka we're going to get down with white supremacy, even though both forms of the Democrat and Republican Party are just two wings on the same bird of white supremacy. But they're going to get down with the outright team white supremacy, who's blatant white supremacist, and they're going to side with them and start using their terminology. And this is an issue that is a problem, because under that post that the white Muslim dude used the word kafir, he defended himself and said, I didn't mean it in any racist way. But there were also other Muslims there who were saying, oh my God, y'all black people always playing victims. Stop playing victim and you wouldn't have to worry about it. That's a problem. Because black people, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, aren't playing victim. We are victims. We are victims of white supremacy. So there's no playing around with us when they're sensitive about certain things. You just need to explain to them properly, no, we don't mean this in a racist way. This is where dawah comes in, proper dawah comes in. Instead of yelling at black people who are under the oppression of white supremacy, instead of yelling at them and telling them to stop playing victim, you need to understand the system of white supremacy. Because Allah tells you to gain knowledge. And Allah also tells you in the Quran that oppression is worse than death. So if you are a sincere Muslim, there's no way that you can't be against white supremacy. You have to be against white supremacy if you are a sincere Muslim. So you need to check your own Islam if you're under these quotes and under these threads talking about black people playing victims. I saw the same thing happening with the young black guy who was killed, murdered in New York on the subway. He liked to dance and dress up as Michael Jackson and dance. His name slips my mind. I think his last name was like Neely. And there was a alleged Muslim, because he has a fake Twitter profile picture, but there was a Muslim who quoted that picture of him getting choked out by some white supremacists. He quoted that picture and put a picture over that person's face, mocking the black man who was getting killed. It was like a cartoonish face, a ghoulish face of somebody with their tongue hanging out and being strangled to death. And he was basically mocking the black man being killed. And not only was he mocking the black man being killed, being murdered, he was also defending the white supremacists in killing him. And there were other Muslims under that thread defending him, defending the white supremacists killing him. Well, he had a criminal history. He never harmed anyone. He was on the train yelling and upset, and he had mental issues. He was upset because he was hungry and he was poor and all these other things because of the system of white supremacy. And so I hopped in the thread and I was like, so what did he do that justified him being murdered? And nobody could answer me. Well, he was yelling at people. He was trying to pull his private parts out. I said, okay, but he was already subdued anyway, for one. And for two, him doing that, how does that justify him being murdered? And they couldn't answer it. They said, well, it doesn't justify him being murdered, but he did have a criminal history, though. You're still trying to justify it. And I let them know that's why you're being unjust. See, there are many non-black Muslims and even some black Muslims who think that you being a black Muslim, that now that you're a Muslim, you have to give up being against white supremacy. Because if you're fighting for your people, if you're fighting against white supremacy, then you're promoting nationalism. No, you're not. There's nothing wrong with liking where you come from. There's nothing wrong with being proud of your own tribe, being proud of your race. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in when you think because of your race, because of your nationality, you're better than somebody. And black people don't think that. Black people just trying to live and live righteously and become empowered and defeat the system of white supremacy. It's not about we're better than you because we're black. We're better than you because we're American. It's nothing about that. But this is the lie they try to tell you so that you can give up fighting white supremacy. When in fact, if you become a Muslim, especially as a black person, you need to be even firmer against white supremacy. Because it's an injustice, one of the greatest injustices in human history. And the same thing goes for the non-black Muslims and even some black Muslims. You should be helping and fighting against white supremacy. You should be assisting in destroying the system of white supremacy, because it is an injustice. And you're supposed to stand out for justice, whether for or against yourself. Don't try to use that ayat in the Quran to justify the murder of an innocent black man, or to justify the murder of a black man who was just yelling on a train. That doesn't justify that. That verse is for you to stand out against white supremacy. So this is so this should be a lesson to all Muslims, that the problem is white supremacy, not black people or black Muslims standing up against white supremacy and being mad at an injustice committed. You don't need to. Also, another lesson is, just because you're a conservative, just because our religion is conservative, doesn't mean that you need to get down with the right wing. Stop trying to get on team white supremacy and using the religion of Islam being conservative as an excuse to do so, because it's a flimsy and trash excuse. Allah says, stand out firmly for justice, whether for or against yourself. So that means even if it's a non-Muslim and there's an injustice being committed to him, that's not for you, because he's a non-Muslim. But you should still stand out for justice against that. Even in the Islamic states during the time of the Prophet or the time of the companions, if a non-Muslim was done wrong, he could go to the courts and get justice. So don't sit up here and talk about how, well, since they're non-Muslims, you shouldn't be saying anything about it anyway because they're kafirs. No. Those of us black Muslims who are sincere to our religion will continue to stand up and stand out against white supremacy. And there's nothing you say that's going to make us feel guilty for that. There's nothing you can say that will make us feel guilty for that, because we have the Quran and Sunnah on our sides in regards to that. So, basically that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's been a while since I dropped a video. I'm going to try to get back at it. Just been busy. But thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share. This is Bilal Mujahid of Black Muslim in America. Until next time, peace and assalamu alaikum.